Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to BD Views. I am Mursaleen Siddiqui. The political landscape in Bangladesh is shifting rapidly as the national election approaches. At the heart of this change is the BNP-led alliance. For months, there has been a visible tension within this coalition. Many partners are unhappy with how seats have been shared. Some have been even threatened to leave the alliance. However, a strange silence remains. Why are these small parties staying with the BNP despite receiving so little? The answer lies in a future promise. The BNP leadership has offered a vision of a national government. They promise that if they come to power, they will form a government of national consensus. This government would include all the parties that stood against the previous Awami League. Another major attraction is the proposal for an upper house in parliament. This is a new concept in Bangladesh's legislative structure. The BNP suggests that experienced leaders from alliance partners who might not win direct seats will be given a place in this upper house. This hope acts as a political carrot. Leaders like Nurul Haq Noor of Gano Odhikar Porishod or Andalib Rahman Partho of BJP are looking at the bigger picture. They feel that even if they lose now, they might gain a seat in the cabinet later. BNP leaders like Selima Rahman have openly said that the national government will be formed based on consensus. She mentioned that they try to evaluate their allies fairly, but the reality on the ground tells a much more complicated and painful story for these partners. While the central leaders of the BNP talk about unity, the grassroots tell a different story. In many constituencies, the BNP has left seats for its alliance partners, but the local BNP leaders are not accepting this decision. They are standing as rebel or independent candidates. This has created a massive crisis of trust. The BNP leadership seems unable or unwilling to control its local activists. A prime example is Potuakhali 3. Here, the alliance candidate is Nurul Haq Noor, but he is facing a huge challenge, not from the ruling party, but from a BNP rebel candidate, Hassan Mamoon. Noor has openly complained that 90% of local BNP workers are supporting the rebel candidate instead of him. Hassan Mamoon's logic is simple. He claims he is standing to save the BNP. He believes that if they give the seat to an ally now, the BNP will not be able to reclaim it for the next 30 years. This is not an isolated case. In many seats, alliance candidates feel like they are fighting a lonely battle. In Dhaka 12, Saiful Haq of the Revolutionary Workers' Party is facing BNP's Saiful Alam Nirab. Although the BNP has officially expelled some rebels, it hasn't stopped them from campaigning. The grassroots sentiment is clear. They want their own person in the seat. This internal conflict shows a significant weakness in the BNP's command structure. It suggests that while the top leadership makes promises to allies, they cannot guarantee the support of their own soldiers on the field. Let's look at the numbers. The BNP has shared only about 13 to 16 seats with its allies. For a coalition of dozens of parties, this is a very small number. This seat-sharing math has led to deep frustration. Many allies expected at least 40 to 50 seats to ensure a balanced parliament. When they received only a handful, the dissatisfaction became hard to hide. The confusion over election symbols has made things worse. According to the current rules, candidates must use either their own party symbol or join the BNP's sheaf of paddy. This created a strategic dilemma. Some leaders like Dr. Redwan Ahmed joined the BNP directly to use their symbol. Others, like Junaid Saki or Mahmudur Rahman Manna, are using their own symbols like the mashal or the kettle. When an alliance candidate uses a different symbol, they need the full support of the local BNP network to win. But in most cases, that support is missing. In Bogura too, Manna is struggling because the local BNP is not fully behind him. In Brahmanbaria too, the situation is even more heated. The alliance candidate from Jamiat-e Ulama-e-Islam is facing a tough challenge from BNP's own powerhouse, Barrister Rumin Farhana. The allies feel cheated. They argue that they have been on the streets with the BNP through the toughest times. They faced jail and police cases alongside BNP workers. Yet, when it came to sharing power through seats, they were given the minimum. What does this mean for the future of the alliance? Analysts are skeptical. They point out a very simple but logical question. If the BNP is being this rigid now, while they're outside the government, how will they behave if they actually win? If they cannot share seats today, will they truly share the cabinet or the upper house tomorrow? This doubt is growing within the hearts of the alliance partners. The instability within the BNP-led coalition is not a temporary issue. It is a fundamental problem of trust and power sharing. The BNP is a massive party with thousands of local leaders who have been out of power for nearly 2 decades. These local leaders are hungry for positions. They are not ready to sacrifice their careers for a small alliance partner. This puts the BNP top leadership in a catch-22 situation. If they force the rebels to sit down, they risk a local revolt. If they let the rebels run, they lose the trust of their allies. The BNP-led alliance is standing on a very shaky foundation. The promise of a national government is the only thing keeping the partners from leaving. But the election field is showing that unity is just a word used in press briefings. In reality, there is a fierce internal battle. The allies are suppressing their anger for now, hoping for a better future. But if the BNP fails to control its grassroots, this alliance might crumble even before the election results are out. The instability is real and it is likely to continue long after the elections are over. As the political landscape shifts, the BNP-led alliance faces its ultimate test. Will the promise of a national government bridge the gap, or will grassroots friction tear it apart? Only time will tell if this fragile unity can survive the pressures of a high-stakes election and lead to stability. That's all for today. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching BD Views. If you find our reports insightful, please subscribe to our channel. Allah Hafiz.